हाँ गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So last week, we are in Jnaneshwari, verse number 15, and we are looking at the traits of the demonical minded. Our mind is made up of thoughts, and those thoughts are categorized into two areas: the divine thoughts and the undivine thoughts. The chapter 16, it began with 3 verses on divine thoughts. What are they? And rest of the chapter is about the undivine thoughts. What is the trait? What is the endowment? How? What are their characteristics? What is their behavior? And in this way, we are still looking at in the 15th verse today that so in the last verse he said in the 14th verse that many enemy has been slain by me, I shall kill others too, I am the master, I am the enjoyer, I am successful, powerful and happy. And this way this fellow, this asura, he is full of himself. Idam adyamaya labdham imam prapsye manoratham idam asti idam api me bhavishyati punardhanam. And he is full of himself. He keeps himself in his own eyes he is the greatest, he is the most successful, he is the most powerful. And in this way he goes about showing to everyone. Now in the 15th verse, Adhyo bhijanavaanasmi, Adhyo bhijanavaanasmi, Konyosti sadrusho maya, Konyosti sadrusho maya, Yakshye dasyami modishya, Yakshye dasyami modishya, Ityajnana vimohitaha, Ityajnana vimohitaha. Adhyo bijanavaanasmi, konyosti sadrusho maya, yakshe dasyami modishya, ityajnana vimohitaha. He says, such a person says, I am rich and of noble birth. Who else is there equal to me? I shall perform sacrifices, give alms and rejoice. So they think, deluded by ignorance. Such a fool, and that fool is sitting in each one of us, somewhere lurking. Many times it comes out. He comes out. Huh? I am rich and of noble birth. When we want I am a Brahmin, I am a Kshatriya, I am a this, I am this. And we don't stop to say, my grandfather was like this, there was a saint in our ancestry, there were so many saints, and our ancestors were all devoted to Lord Vishnu, and this Vigraha, this Ishta Devata in our house, it has come from 500 years ago. And the same puja is being conducted as if. And that becomes a matter of a great pride, great prestige, that I belong to such family. And it is good that you belong to that family, but you don't have to advertise that. This fellow advertises. And it says here, Konyosti Sadrushomaya. Remember this one. Is there anyone like me? I am the greatest. He puts himself up on such a high pedestal that only if he gets kicked, then only he'll come down. By himself, he will not come down. Apne muh miyan mithu. He is singing the glory of himself. Konyosti sadrusho maya. I shall perform sacrifices, give alms and rejoice. And is there anyone equal to me? And therefore, you can see this happening in the society. People do havan, people do pujas on a big scale. It is not for the sake of God. It is not for the sake of purification. It is for the sake of name and fame. It is for the sake that I am doing it, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, but actually somewhere some other ulterior motive is there in their heart. I hope not, but here we are seeing this. Because the one who is a seeker, the one who is cultivating good qualities, who is having Daivi Sampatti, he remains silent. He doesn't do without too much pomp and show. But here he will invite singers, he will invite actors, he will invite speakers from other different places and make a business out of it. Or he will just invite and donate all the money so that, I'm doing this for the society. And becomes famous in the society. All this is Asuri Vritti. See how deep it goes. And then, and you must have come across many times, if they are done with the right intention, the big homas in the society, good. But majority of the places, why it is going on in various temples. Every Ekadashi, every Ram Navami, every Pradosham, every Krishna Janmashtami, every year Kumbh Abhishekam, this, that, all that. For what? For generating wealth. It's not for God. It's for generating wealth. And in this way, this Asuri pravritti person, he loses the plot, being under the influence of ignorance, out of ignorance. Now Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, Kuberu athila hoye, parito nene माझी सोए, संपत्ती मजसम नभे, श्रीनाथा ही, माझिया कुळाचा उजाळू, का जाती गोतांचा मेळू, पाहता ब्रह्माही हळू, उन्हाची दिसे, म्हणवनी मिरविती नावे, वाया ईश्वरादी आघवे, नाही मजसी सरी पावे, ऐसे कोणी, आता लोपला अभिचारू, तया करीन मी जीर्णोद्धारू, प्रतिष्ठीन परमारू, या गवरी. He says, Kuber is no doubt rich, but he too is not my peer in riches. This ignorant person, the Asur, he is saying that Kuber is no doubt rich, but he too is not my peer in riches, and even the Lord or Goddess of wealth does not possess riches equal to mine. Even God Brahma would look deficient compared to the greatness of my family and the assemblage of my kith and kin. No one who boasts of being God can equal me. I shall now revive the black magic that has become extinct and perform sacrifices in order to cause pain to other beings. Why? Now, in such a person's eye, due to the intoxication of success and wealth and power and control, the divinity has completely gone out of the heart of this person. See? They become anti-godly people. Look at Ravan, look at Hiranyakashipu. He prayed to Brahmaji for the boon, Hiranyakashipu and Ravan. See, our sadhana, if we are calling ourselves spiritual, when we do our sadhana, when we contemplate on the divine, when we take the name of the divine, when we meditate, whatever you are practicing, it should not be with a view to get some result as as a result of the exercise that you are doing. You have to love the Lord for the sake of the Lord, without anything in expectation. You want to meditate, meditate for the sake of the self, by the self. Take the name of the Lord for the sake of the name of the Lord, because name and Lord are one and the same. But when the great tapasvis, or even as I mentioned, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kamsa, etc., etc., all these people, Om Brahmane Namaha, Om Brahmane Namaha, Om Brahmane Namaha, they'll stand on one leg, hands up in the air, for thousands, hundreds and thousands of years they will stand there, and eventually Brahmaji will bless them. And what will they ask? They will not ask, give me happiness, give me love, give me mergence into the ultimate, bless me with that. No. They want to be the master of the universe. They want to be the master of the world. Because that is the intention with which they began their sadhana. So are we meditating with an intention to get something in return? If there is an intention, we are still at the level of the world. Oh, but they say we must contemplate, we must have, Vivek Chudamani says, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, we should have moksha, we should desire moksha. Yes, you must desire moksha and perform everything. Liberation. But what is liberation? Do you know? Can you put it on paper? Can you show it to me? It is you, it is your essential nature. Even that desire has to be given up. We only inculcate that desire so that we can grow out of the desire for the world. But eventually that desire also has to be given up. But that desire comes in the Daivi Sampatti. That desire doesn't come in the Asuri Sampatti. Asuri Sampatti means when you have desire for the inert. What is inert? Time, space, objectivity is inert. Power is inert, control is inert, siddhis are inert, lordship is inert. All this is all at the level of mind alone. And see, even Daksha, you know the story of Daksha, Sati's husband. He did the Havan, he did the home for the whole creation, and he did not call Lord Shiva himself, who is the Adhishthan Devata. See, he had hatred for Lord Shiva. He had hatred for Lord Shiva. Not even dislike. Hatred. So he had to pay the price. He got a goat's head. Meh, 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 meh. We are also doing, next verse will tell us, meh, 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 meh. I shall now revive the black magic that has become extinct and perform sacrifices in order to cause pain to other beings. Why pain to other beings? Because now the other beings must recognize that I am the most powerful. There is no God. I have all the siddhis, I have got all the powers, I have got the resources. I can break temples, I can build temples, I can make you, if you are dedicated to me, I will make you rich. That generations don't have to worry about money. But if someone is wealthy and he says that if you are not dedicated to me, I'll make you poor straight away. I'll make you go and beg on the streets. Power, wielding the power, make or break anyone's life. But it is all the journey of the ego. Look at this president of one country. Everywhere, I did this, I did that, I did that, I did this. Such are the Asuri people. Continuing, Mate gati vaniti natanache rizhaviti taya deyi namagati te te vastu majira annapani pramadachya आलिंगनी मी होई न त्रिभुवनी आनंदाकारु काय बहु सांगो ऐसे ते आसुरी प्रकृति पिसे तुरंबीती असोसे गगनौळे तिये. He says, I shall shower gifts on those who will sing my praise and entertain myself with dancing and melodramatic shows. Huh? I shall appropriate all happiness in this world, partaking of intoxicating dishes and drinks and enjoying the embraces of women, or in other words, opposite sex. In short, in this way, these crazy persons of demonical temperament, along with great hope to smell the flower of the sky, Akasha Pushpa, which does not exist, yet they are in their imaginary disposition. See? So they go to shows, they go to natak in the name of culture, in the name of, they go to pujas, they go to havans. See? But what is the intention? Is the intention cultural? Is the intention social? Is the intention that someone has called me for Satyanarayan Puja, if I don't go, I will get pap? Because the story says so. Is that why I am going? Or is it that I am going there, oh, another opportunity, it will be divine and I will just sit in meditation there, or another expose myself to the mantras and the deity? With what intention do we go? But this over involvement in listening to music, listening to going to theatre again and again and again, and organizing various artists and actors to come and perform, all this is asuric pravritti. It is not daivik. If daivi pravritti is there, it will make you withdraw from the world. In spite of functioning in the world, your mind will be withdrawn from the world. It will not initiate anything because it is dedicated to the divine. The asuri pravritti is, you want to leave a mark behind in this world. All those who have made see, today, just now I was watching the news before coming to the class, and in USA, in Great Britain, all those colonial slave traders whose statues are there in Oxford University and different council squares and intersections, all are getting pulled down. What name did they make for themselves? At that time they were all great, using the people to make profits. These were the slave traders. Asuri. It's not Daivi. Asuri. In the name of religion they go and convert people. Asuri pravritti. It is not divine. Instill the fear in the minds of the aborigines or the tribal people. Put the holy water into the well and now you have become Christian because or whatever religion if you have drunk the water. This is Asuri Pravritti. There's no iota of religion in that, or spirituality in that, or God in that. It's mere spreading your influence and control to the masses. That's all. And what will happen as a result? All those you have converted, you are the boss for them, you are the overseer for them. Those people who were directly in contact with the divine, now you have come in between them and the divine. And you get the hafta. हफ्ता समझते हो? Weekly donation. That is hafta in the street language. Gundas. गुंडा करते हैं, गुंडागर्दी करते हैं इसे. I shall appropriate the happiness in this world partaking of intoxicating dishes. They enjoy variety of dishes, variety of alcohol propagated. For them, parties is the way of life. And enjoying the embraces of opposite sex. In short, in this way, these crazy persons of demonical temperament, along with great hope, intense desire, asha, remember previous verse came asha. Here the word is sakta, prasaktaha, extreme attachment. Along with great extreme hope to smell the flowers of the sky, and in this way, and that is never going to be possible through the material world, through the inert objects, to experience the infinite bliss is not possible. But they are the Lord in their own minds. So what can you do about it? But these are the symptoms. अनेक चित्त विभ्रांता मोह जाल समावृताः प्रसक्ता काम भोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु च. He says in the 16th verse, अनेक चित्त विभ्रांता मोहज्जाल समावृताः प्रसक्ता काम भोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु च. Bewildered by many such fancies, caught in the web of delusion and addicted to sensual enjoyments, they fall into foul hell. The more hopes, the more longing is there in our mind, when we are intensely prasaktaha, intensely attached to objects and senses, and the stimuli is thereby prasaktaha. And then when we are attached to so many objects of the world or beings, then desire comes. I wish I can get married with that girl. I wish I get married with that guy. I wish I get that car. I wish I get that job. I wish and wish and wish and wish. They live in a wishful thinking world, not acting what is required to be done. And eventually their mind is so clubbered up with all these hopes, all these attachments, all these desires, and they get themselves caught up in their own cocoon of thoughts, cocoon of desires. Here it is written, web of delusion. Those imaginations, they're only imaginations of what they wish the future to hold for them. Such people stop living in the present. They are in the future, and they get caught up in their own delusion and addicted to sensual enjoyments. They fall into foul hell. Understand what is addiction. What is addiction? Addiction is when we have attachment to some object, some person, something, time, space, objectivity. So now I enjoy gulab jamun. Oh, that was so fantastic. It was absolutely wonderful. Can I get one more? Yeah. Can I get one more? Yeah. Can I get one more? No, it's not. It's over. Then I want more. Same thing with alcohol, same thing with drugs, same thing with relationships. So, what is happening? We have experienced something which was separate from us. We have become one with it. We enjoyed it, and now we want to repeat that experience. And that is why a drunkard, a person who starts with a social drink, eventually turns into a drunkard, regular drinker. A person who starts with social drugging eventually becomes a drug addict. See, this is addiction. When you wish for the same experience, the same high, the same adrenaline rush, you want to repeat that experience again and again and again. And that experience is always about the inert, whether it is the world outside, whether it is something within your imagination. You keep going into that imagination and want to experience the joy of being with that object, to be with that person, remember that person, go into that nostalgia of the past experience. This leads to addiction. But when we are attached to the divine, it doesn't lead to addiction. Because we can't repeat our experience with ourselves. We cannot repeat it. We cannot repeat it. See? So, the love for the divine, love for God, love for the self, this doesn't lead to addiction. It may seem like an addiction, but it is not addiction. Because eventually you vanish. A druggie says, yeah, when I take drugs or I take drinks, I vanish. It's very similar. But when you vanish into the self, into the divine, then there's no coming back after that. You go to sleep, you come back again. It seems that way, isn't it? So, with this understanding, let's look at what Jnaneshwar Maharaj says. Such people who follow and get intoxicated with attachment to objects and beings of the world, in other words, they get intoxicated by the unreal. Unreal is that which is continuously changing. Whether it be thought, whether it be emotion, whether it be imagination, whether it be relationships, whether it be objects of the world, they are all changing. Such people create a hell for themselves right here and now. Here it says they fall into foul hell. When? Not in the future, now only. Because they have become miserable. because they have lost their cool, they lost their smile, they are into depression, they have lost the plot of life. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, Zwara cheni atope, rogi bhalatai se jalpe, चावळी ती संकल्पे जाणते तैसे अज्ञान आतुले धुळी म्हणूनी आशा वाहटुळी भावंडी जती अंतराळी मनोरथांच्या. He says, just as a patient raves at random in delirious fever, so these demonical men babble their fancies. The dust in the form of their ignorance rises high and becomes the whirlwind in the form of hope, which keeps on soaring in the sky in the form of desires. So we have been culprit of that. We have come across people who are like that. Lot of youth are caught up in this. They keep imagining, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Just the other day, one girl was telling me, Swamiji, I'm giving my final exam in accounts. And I said, so what are your plans? Hopefully by then the flights, international flights, hopefully will start by August, September. Then are you planning to go back to India? She said, no, I'm not going back. I'm going to stay here, and then I'm going to find a job and apply for, what is that? TR, temporary, TR, for TR. And then I said, what about marriage? This will take 3, 4, 5 years. You're already 30. She said, no, I don't want to go back to India. I don't want to go back to India. Already imagining, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. See? When so many expectations are there, we become weak from within. Same person just a few days ago, exam is coming up, final exam, her 2 years are getting over. Thinking about it, contemplating on it. Maybe the subject is hard, we don't know, I don't know. But anxiety attack, panic attack. She was crying like so much. It happens. But what is the reason? Why did she break down psychologically? All negative thoughts are coming in her mind. Will I pass? Will I get a job? Will I be able to get the TR? Will I find a partner? Will I do this? Will I do that? I said, stop this. Because you don't know what is going to happen in the future. All you can do is, you are losing the opportunity to put 100% in the present moment. Live example of such disposition. Lose the plot. The dust in the form of their ignorance rises high and becomes the whirlwind in the form of hope. Hope, wishes. Never coming, not standing on the ground. Ground reality they are not looking at. Which keeps on soaring in the sky in the form of desires. Desires in the mind. Desires are for what? That which you do not have right now. That which you do not possess. That which you are not experiencing at the moment. So the bucket list keeps going longer and longer and longer and longer. अनियम आषाढ़ मेघ का समुद्रोर्मी अभंग तैसे कामिति अनेग अखंड काम मग पै काम नाचीतया जीवी जाल्या वेलरिया वोर पिली कांटिया कमळे जैसी का पाषाणाचिया माथा हांडी फुटली पार्था जीवी तैसे सर्वथा कुटके झाले तेव्हा चढतीये रजनी तमाची होय पुरवणी तैसा मोह अंतःकरणी वाढोची लागे. आणि वाढे जव जव मोह तव तव विषयी रोहो विषय तेथ ठावो पातकासी. He says, just as clouds appear in the sky one after another in the month of Ashad, July, or the waves form on the sea continuously, so their desires grow for constant sensuous enjoyments. Continuously. And I'm not going too far. I'm not talking just about opposite sex. Even at home, I can see. We have some students, they live. Oh, today I like eating this. Today I like eating that. Right? So much thing is there from yesterday. Finish it off. No, I don't feel like. I want to eat this today. My tongue is asking for this. One or two times I told them that don't live like this. It will become a big problem afterwards. Now I stop talking, telling them anything. If someone appreciates, you can repeat it. Let us not become like that. There, where we live a life of likes and dislikes. The more we live a life of likes and dislikes, the more the desires will increase. Then what should be our life like? It should be based on right and wrong. And how is the life based on right and wrong? When we live a life of scriptural injunction. Live our life the way the scriptures are telling us. Why we should do that? Because the scripture is the speech of the Lord. See? But asuras, they want to create their own identity in opposition to the divine. And opposition to the divine is likes and dislikes, which lead to sukha dukkha. So that which gives me sukha, I will keep desiring that again and again and again. Observe our own life. How many idiosyncrasies we have. How many places, if you haven't had dinner now, you go, when the dinner comes in front of you, or you go and pick up, or the wife say, can you get me the dinner? Oh, I like getting food from your hands. Like, or today I didn't make chapati, I only made rice. Oh, I like chapati, why didn't you make chapati? Again, like. Oh, I made dosa. Why did you make dosa? I don't like dosa. Dislike. So we as we think we are intelligent just because we have created a discipline in our house and within our mind. I wear only black color, or I wear only this color. I like this color. I got into. So if any other color comes, then I'll be disturbed. I'll be disturbed. There's now one person is there, the president of Camberwell Shirdi temple. He says, Swamiji, I want to stitch a dress for you. I said, stitch. He made. He is in that profession. So he's starting his own business, so he stitched. And he made a white one. I never worn white one. After sannyas, I never worn white clothes. It does not matter. He said, no. Sai Baba used to wear white also, yellow also, red also, ochre color also. I want to give you all colors. I said, give Baba, who is stopping you? What can you do? See? You have to go beyond likes and dislikes. Where are we? So just like the waves on the ocean do not stop, and the clouds in the sky, they come, they stay, they vanish, then the next one comes, and it goes on. The appearance of the waves on the ocean goes on. Similarly, in the mind of such a person, the desires go on and the momentum keeps increasing. Keeps increasing. For what? The desires grow for constant sensuous enjoyments. Sensuous enjoyment doesn't mean only for the opposite sex. If I am enjoying the mango and sucking away, ये क्या taste है यार, this is Alfonso mango, I'm missing out, I am in Australia, I wish I was in India right now, it is the mango season, wow, 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 gone, you are there, Asura. Because you are remembering your past. When you were in Bombay, eating away mango after mango after mango, and now you are living in the hope. See? Then their designs grow and spread like a creeper, but they are shattered like flowers when they are snatched from the thorny bushes, or like an earthen pot dashed against a rock. As the intensity of darkness increases with the advancing night, infatuation grows in their minds, giving rise to a passion for sensual pleasures which breed sinful acts. Initially, it is okay, only likes and dislikes. And then we start planning towards that. Next holiday, I will plan to go be in India in June, month of June and July when the mangoes are there. Or you want to bet on the share market when the market is low. Some person back in Sydney, so they said, oh, we want to buy an apartment. This is a good time, so many apartments are coming up. The whole world is going into it. They must be doing something right. What something right? It's already, if you had done it few years ago, it was a different matter. But they got in at the ground level, 3 years for the building to be built, paid $1.5 million. 3 years later, that is last year, they got the flat. They wanted to become rich quickly. So they 2-3 people came together, put the money together. They bought the flat. Today that flat is not available for 1.2 million also. Now they want to cut their losses. Now they have put it on the market. But everyone is putting it on the market. These get rich quick schemes. If I put the money here, I will become rich. If I put the money in the property, I will become rich. If we go after our desires and afterwards it becomes intoxication. I told you the other day, there is one person, he owns almost 22 properties in Melbourne, in Sydney. What must have happened to him, I don't know, because Corona came suddenly. He wouldn't have been able to sell all of them. All of them were on interest. Value has dropped. The government bank will say, give me the money back. Your house is not worth the money that you took. And then the whole world comes crashing down on them. Then they get into depression. But before that, initially likes and dislikes, then as the desires keep increasing, then we get so intoxicated with our desire to fulfill ourselves by whatever. Whether it be a samosa, whether it be a gulab jamun, let it be opposite sex, they are intoxicated by objects and beings. We want more experience, more experience. Just like these kids of today, they are so intoxicated. They discover, they relate their self-worth equal to number of hellos and good morning that they get on the Facebook or WhatsApp. And if they don't get the same number as yesterday, oh, I think some people don't like me anymore. Then they do something so that they get attention again from those people. And that leads to a point where they lose the sense of what is right and what is wrong. They get so obsessed for acceptance. So what is the acceptance? They desire to be accepted by others. They desire to possess objects and relations. They desire to experience something. They become obsessed with that. Then their designs grow and spread like a creeper, and slowly, the entire mind, the desires keep percolating through the mind, and now that mind loses the vision. It becomes denser and denser and denser. That is what corona does, Once it enters you, it goes and coagulates your blood vessels. And when it coagulates your blood vessels, now the blood is not able to flow. If blood is not able to flow, blood is the medium which carries oxygen from one place to the other. Oxygen is not able to flow. And the person dies. Exactly the same thing. When desires clog our mind, then we lose the plot of life for what we are here. We forget how to smile. We forget how to take life easily. Our natural disposition is worrying all the time because of expectations. Then their designs grow and spread like a creeper, but they are shattered like flowers when they are snatched from the thorny bushes like an earthen pot. When life takes away something that is dear to them, something that they have cherished, something they have lived all their life to build up. I have done this, I am this, I have started the business single-handedly. Everything, and suddenly now the house is burned, the business is burned. Suddenly, if the mind is not healthy, expectations are too high, obsession was intense, that I am a self-made man, I got a data, I never failed in my life. I prodded around. I have done whatever is required to become successful. And when success is snatched away, they come down in a heap, not knowing what hit them. They are unable to gather themselves. As if the pot has been hit against the rock. What happens when a pot is hit against the rock? It smashes, it shatters. Such a person who's living a life full of desires, when whatever he has or whatever his wishes are, when they are not fulfilled, he gets or she gets shattered. That is what I meant before by saying they lose the plot of life. two people come together, oh, I love you, this, that. And then the girl says that, oh, I have to tell my parents, we have been going out too long. I can't continue like this without telling my parents. And they decide, okay, let's tell our parents and become committed to each other. So the boy comes at home, Indian family, no? Indian family. Indian family. So immediately, hey, oh, what are you doing? I am so and so. How? What is your age? So and so. Oh, very good. You're smart. You're handsome. You're tall. Good, good, good. What? So when are you getting married? What? Married? No, no. We are only committing. We are not getting married straight away. We are still young. We have to find. We have to get our careers going. This. Oh, we are still young. We can't get married straight away. No, 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 no. You have to get married. Then that boy afterwards calls the girl, hey man, your dad was a bit strong on marriage. I'm still young. You're still young. I don't want to get married right now. Desire not to get married. Then, no, no, I think this will not work between you and me. I think you're. It is not possible. Then the girl comes. Swamiji, what do I do? I said, did you not work it out between you two? This is the first challenge that has come in your relationship. She says, yeah, I know. Why is he saying that this will not work out? I said, find out why it is not happening. When it is all about me, it's all about my desires, then inability to face the first obstacle of life. I'm telling you what has just happened. These are examples come to me. Now what do I do? Can't do anything. Let some sense prevail in his mind. Personality breaks up. This is what happened to Arjuna. Full of himself. Greatest archer, belonging to having the divine weapons, a devotee of Lord Shiva, Indra is his father, Krishna is his friend, wow, 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 oh, you can put the list. Never done anything wrong, never defeated in any war, Arjuna. But when the final war came, his personality got broken up. Because in the middle of the battlefield, he did not come to the battlefield that we are coming. This is the right thing to be done. We have gone through all the various options not to have the war. Now it is inevitable, so we have to fight. No. Instead of seeing that the war was required and he had to fight, instead he saw relationships. Instead he saw that so many people will be killed. Instead he saw so many will become widows. Instead he saw that he will go to hell because of the possible acts that he will be committing in the future, like killing his teacher and killing his grandfather and killing his cousin brothers. See? And what happened as a result? Identity crisis. Same thing happens to us also. Same thing happened to that girl also. Identity crisis. Because exam is in front of her and her mind is going into past and future rather than being in the present. as the intensity of darkness increases with the advancing night, infatuation. Night means what? See, the more the number of thoughts, what is happiness? When are you able to feel happy? Tell me. Have you ever thought about it? When your level of happiness increases? Does your happiness increase when you have more thoughts, or does your happiness increase when you have less thoughts? Have you ever thought? When you feel the most happy, blissful? In sleep, isn't it? In sleep, do you have any thought? No. So, which means we are happiness, which is our nature, it expresses abundantly when less and less thoughts are there in our mind. That's why we sit for meditation also, so that the mind settles down. And what is that happiness? The light of the self, the light of the spirit is able to shine forth completely, fully. So what is this here told? That as the intensity of the darkness increases with the advancing night, what is that advancing night? Either you can take physically, now the night is increasing, darkness is increasing, but in the mind, what is the darkness? Darkness comes, the light reduces, the happiness reduces, the more the desires increase. The more thought oscillation or thought eruption, the more the number of thoughts in the mind, less you are happy. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, as the intensity of, and when a person is obsessed, if with intensity he is expecting something, wishing something, then the number of thoughts are going on again and again, the same thought again and again. Yet, when we take the same thought again and again of the Lord, it calms us down. But when we are thinking about relations, when we are thinking about persons, when we are thinking about objects, we lose the plot. With the advancing night, infatuation grows in their minds, giving rise to a passion for sensual pleasure. So, all the bars, all the brothels, all the casinos, when are they functioning at their peak? In the night. Because that's when the mind, nobody is watching me, I can quietly slip into the casino. Nobody is watching me. I can quietly slip into a pub, have a 2 beers and come back, and then a sannyasi is thinking. I'm not telling you are thinking. Sannyasi is thinking. Gin and tonic. Why? Nobody is watching. At night, who will be there? Normal people, they are all going to sleep. So nobody will know me. Because the desire, thinking about the beer, thinking about the gin and tonic, thinking about the money. Whole life is guided by the money. How I can double it. We never think how I can double my peace every day. But we want to double our money every day. We have a long-term plan from 1 house to 2 house, from 2 house to 3 house, from 100,000 in the bank to 200,000, 200 to $500,000. We have a complete plan. We go and consult the consultant, financial consultants, so that in 20, 30 years, what should be the trajectory? Have you ever thought what should be our trajectory for peace in our mind? Have we planned that out? Have we worked on it? Or is it only Thursday to Thursday? We do one satsang, light a lamp in the morning and light a lamp in the evening every day, sit for 1 mala of japa, and I don't tell lies, I don't tell this, I don't tell that, and I think I'm a sattvic person, and nothing is going to happen by that, man. It is good you are doing that. At least you are not going the wrong way. But it requires much more. That same dedication that you have towards the world at this moment, what I just told you, long term planning. We must have long term planning. Every day, every month, we must assess, have I improved or have I digressed? In being calm, in being content, in being desire free. Ah. पापे आपलेनी थावे जवकिरी करीती मेळावे तव जितांची आघवे येती नरका म्हणवनी गा सुमती जे कुमनोरथा पाळिती ते आसुर येती वस्ती तया ठाया जेथ अस जेथ असी पत्र तरुवर खदिरांगाराचे डोंगर तातला तेली सागर उतताती जेथ यातनांची श्रेणी हे नित्य नवी यमजाचणी पडती तिये दारुणी नरकलोकी ऐसे नरकाची ये शेले भागी जे जे जन्मले तेही देखो भुलले या जिती यागी एरवी यागादिक क्रिया आहाण तेची धनंजया परी विफळती आचरोनिया नाटकी जैसी वल्लभाची या उजरिया आपण या प्रति कुस्त्रिया जोडोनी तोषिती जोडोनी तोषिती जैसिया अहेवपणे. He says that when the sin derives strength and becomes crowded, then they suffer hellish life even in this world. Sin, understand, sin just means desire. The more we live a sensuous life, the more we live a life of expectations and desires, we are living a sinful life. This desire is the one which is keeping away from ourselves. It is the corruption between me and myself. That wave needs to be dissolved. We have to grow out of that desire. And here, Asuri people, they keep on enhancing, what is the word? Re-emphasizing those desires. And that desire is the sin. When the sin derives strength, meaning the desires derive strength and becomes crowded, it has crowded your mind, it has taken over the mind now. You have lost all sense of right and wrong. You are completely under the clutches of the desire. We are unable to break that habit. We are unable to break that thought fixation. We are unable to come out of that addiction or obsession. Then they suffer hellish life even in this world. Then that life, that person living a life under the slavery of their desire, under the slavery of that addiction and obsession, he is already in hell. Now find out, are there any areas in our life where we are behaving in this manner, where we are a slave of our own obsessions, a slave of our own expectations, a slave of our own desires, a slave of our own obsessions? And sometimes they are so strong we are not able to come out. Slowly build up the momentum, chant the name of the Lord, sing the name of the Lord, slowly build up the momentum so that that obsession, that desire, that addiction becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. This is called detoxification. You know, these druggies or alcoholics, they go to the they go for a 21-day detoxification program. Smokers, I don't think any smoker or any drinker or any drug taker would have enjoyed that the first time. The person continues with it only under peer pressure. He doesn't enjoy the cigarette, it makes him cough, it makes him smell, stink. But yes, maybe it gave him a sense of calm inside for that moment. Then he gets addicted slowly to that calm. But only to become a slave of that smoke. Therefore, O talented Arjuna, harboring such wicked desires in their mind, these demonical men come to dwell later after death in those places where there are trees with sharp edged leaves like swords, where there are mountains of live coals of khadira trees, where seas of boiling oil rush forth, where there are a series of agonizing tortures devised by the god of death. Into such a hell they fall. You want to read the 28 different types of health? Hell, not health, hell. Hell. Read Bhagavatam. In that, in detail, if you do this particular mistake, you will be boiled like a pakoda in the hot oil and you will not die. You will keep boiling. You will keep expanding like a pakoda does. But you cannot die. If you do this particular, if you have lived life like this, one of the traits of these demons, they will take you to that and two demons will come and they will cut you into half and you will not die. And you will experience the pain as they are cutting you slowly. All tortures maybe came from Bhagavatam only. But why we have to go in future life? If we are not happy right now, then we are in hell at this moment. So why have they given these? To shock the person that if you are living a desire oriented life, this is your destination. At least, if not everyone, some people will say, hey man, I don't want to go there. I don't want to be boiled like a pakoda. I don't want to be cut into half. I don't want to be alive and all my limbs one by one are taken out of my body. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to live without food and continuously keep screaming for food for I don't know how long. I don't want to be like that. Because he has to pay for what he did in the mortal plane. So these a good way, one of the ways to instill change in a person is through fear. This is what we do with our children, isn't it? This is what the government does. If you don't follow the rules, there will be fine. Fear. If you cross the speed limit, there will be this much fine. Fear. So you automatically start behaving. So some people, when they see that these are the consequences, they might change their course of life from desire oriented to God oriented. And here it says, uh, where seas of boiling oil rush forth, where there are a series of agonizing tortures devised by the god of death, into such a hell they fall. Although born in this world but destined to fall into hell, they too perform sacrifices assiduously in an infatuated state. So don't misunderstand that every person who's doing havan, every person who's doing puja, every person who is able to chant the mantras properly is a godly person. No, he can be the biggest crook. Look at Daksha Maharaj. Look at those pujaris who eat meat and drink, but in the name of wear the proper dress and go and do pujas. On that day, they do not eat and drink. Asuras of highest order. Hypocrisy. We already talked about that in the one of the verses. Dambha. See? So, if a person is organizing great events in the society, not out of his love for God, but out of wanting, desiring name, fame, power, money, to be seen as a great organizer, to be seen that I am doing great punya work in this meritorious work in the society for the benefit of the society. In the name of society, they basically what they are doing is increasing their what you call marketability, their own recognition in the eyes of others that I am the organizer. Beware of such desires. So here he says, although born in this world, but destined to fall into hell. Ravan was a great Brahmin. He knew all the mantras. Then why was he killing saints and sages? He himself used to do havan, but he will stop all the God fearing people from doing havan. See? Although born in this world but destined to fall into hell, who perform sacrifices assiduously in an infatuated state. Infatuation for some result, infatuation for satisfaction or completion of their desire. We must remember the Lord for the sake of the Lord. Then we are going the right way. We do Satyanarayan Puja, but before doing Satyanarayan Puja, already we have a sankalp. That if my daughter gets married, I will do Satyanarayan Puja. If my child passes the 12th exam, I will do Satyanarayan Puja. If my dying husband or wife or child, someone near and dear, if that person heals, oh Lord, I make a sankalp that within 15 days I will do the Satyanarayan Puja. It's a deal you are making with the God. It's the Asuric way. It's not the way of the gods. Well, gods also have desire, but they have desire for the ultimate. They are dedicated. They don't have desire, but they are dedicated to the ultimate. But asuras, they use the ultimate to satisfy their desires of the world. But O Arjuna, even though such prescribed sacrificial rites are in order and should be performed as enjoined, they prove fruitless as they are performed with ostentation as in a dramatic performance. This is like a whore who lives under the protection of her lover and remains contented pretending to be a loyal wife. What example Jnaneshwar Maharaj, 12-year-old, is giving. Even though such prescribed sacrificial rites are in order and should be performed as given in the scriptures, yes, they must be performed, no doubt. They prove fruitless as they are performed with ostentation as in a dramatic performance. They are done with a purpose. They are done with a desire to be fulfilled. They are done with a goal in front. As a dramatic performance. So then, now what we are doing? Now we are buying tickets to see that performance. So what is the difference? You go to a play, you buy a ticket and see performance. Now you are paying $50, $100 to do a havan in a temple. What is the difference? That is also performance. This is also performance. This is the way of the asuras. This is like a prostitute who lives under the protection of her lover and feels that she is a loyal wife. What an example. And remains contented. They are contented by actions. If everything falls into place, they'll say, oh, by God's grace, everything fell into place. Oh, by God's grace, things came together. The samagri came, this happened, that happened, wishes were fulfilled. See, the rains came, this, that. Get out of it. Spirituality, moksha is within. A person who is walking the path to realize, he doesn't make a show of it in the outside world. He doesn't go and beat his own drum that I am on my journey to realization. Listen, listen, listen. Give donation so that I can, without disturbance, continue my meditation for realization. It's not that way. He does it quietly. He does it without any extravaganza. He does it within himself. Even his family members don't come to know that he is on his journey. It should be that secret. We do a little bit of cycling and I keep telling, I am doing cycling and cycling. Do everything quietly. So all these, there's still two more verses before. Two more verses of how these people behave. We'll look at it in our next class. Beware, beware, beware. Don't fall into the trap of all these symptoms. If you want, listen to the talk again, read the Jnaneshwari again, and if there are even passing traits of such manner lifting their hood within our mind, immediately, consciously accept it. Don't reject it. Yeah, it is there. So that means now you have assessed that this issue is there in my mind. I choose not to feed that desire. Direct your mind's energy to the divine name. Direct your mind's energy to the divine qualities. Don't think about that particular issue, that particular desire, that particular want, that particular like or dislike again and again and again and again and again till it becomes an passionate infatuation. Stop. May God bless us with that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just sit quietly for half a minute. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.